Good afternoon, Earthbound Super Series, and welcome to today's race. It is round 2 of Earthbound Ancient Cave Super Series 2022 between TS Jonte Thomas and RaikouRider. We know who the winner's gonna face, we know who the loser's gonna face. Whoever wins faces Orilux in the next round. Whoever loses goes to the bonus bracket and takes on the person who is behind the mic for this race, and that is me, Leslie Pro. Hopefully you're all having a good afternoon. This particular seed is no Paula, and we start by swimming in the sewers. Not a fan of this particular start, admittedly, because the sewer movement is just so slow. And both our runners have taken down a coil snake in different spots. And I did not see what they picked up out of that gift box because the text speed is very quick, so you gotta be sharp to keep up with that. Pair of dirty socks. Ugh. Not a fan. Seems that both runners opting for the faster on-land route, which is understandable because movement in the sewers is extremely slow. And we get a baseball cap and a carrot key. Now, the second of those two items, the carrot key, counts as a skip because it opens up the carrot cave option in Dalam, while RaikouRider has found his way into the second floor of the monkey cave. Get a few items here. Not sure if that can of fruit juice is going to be good for anything. And a toothbrush, which, honestly, if this were PK Scramble, the toothbrush would be one of that particular Earthbound rando's memes. As in, the end of the game, they count how many of the kids brushed their teeth. What happens if you don't? I'm gonna leave that one as a bit of a surprise. Raikou making for the exit. And it seems that both parties have run into... well, they've run into sharks. Although Raikou got the... well, he got the benefit of a back attack. Unfortunately, Thomas losing Ness in this particular battle. This is not a fun fight, particularly because... well, Pogo Punk hits hard, so does Hula Hoop, Yes Man Jr. But it's the skate punk that's the real problem because he can call for help. And we've got our first boss. On Raikou's side, it's just a typical mouse that you would find there, and it looks like Thomas is going for the reset here. I don't blame him because that's a tough situation to get out of, because you can't get off the floor without Ness. And with Raikou on floor 2, Thomas is on floor 1, but he knows the way he has to go. Raikou's found a phone. And by virtue of saving there, if he takes a party wipe or resets, he'll just go back to that point. And here we have Raikou taking a scripted encounter against a slimy little pile. Bit of an annoying enemy because, well, it was no problem for Raikou this time. But amongst the things it can do, that mucus makes it so you can't move. And if it rolled freeze invulnerable, basically, for lack of a better term, then you would have a problem because no Paula. And it looks like Thomas is picking up a couple of skip items here. And can afford, well, 3 total, but they could be really good and really important because he's on a different path altogether. Raikou finds a fry pan, which is going to do him no good here, but also finds a king banana. That's another skip item that we could potentially see in the monkey cave. Thomas has found a phone and isn't able to afford anything even with pulling money. And oh, that's the other thing that a slimy little pile can do. It can call for help on top of all the annoying things it does. It is extra experience, but those can get annoying to deal with, especially as the encounters add up. Thomas finds a skip off floor 1, but can't take it because 30 bucks is required for the show ticket. He needs a 20, and not a peanut. Yeah, the way the skips work, for those not in the know, is the skips go anywhere from 2 to 6 floors away. Well, Raikou has found the quote-unquote free stand where he's gonna pick up some things that'll help the party, and then those non-stick fry pans that he's grabbing are going to get sold for half the price you see there at about $795 each. That's gonna lead to some pretty healthy money gains. He's also stocking up on bottles of deluxe water, which, when you have Pooh using a lot of PSI moves, as he's going to in a seed like this, the extra PSI recovery for Pooh is really gonna come in handy. So the switch in that room that Raikou just opted out of does still work. However, the doorway that it opens does absolutely nothing, so there's no point in stepping on it. Raikou, taking no chances with that rambling evil mushroom on screen, goes right for Rockin' and just wipes him out. Now, there are a number of doors and a number of options in Happy Happy Village to check, so it tends to be difficult to find the correct option, per se, but you can also find some really cool stuff there. Raikou picks up a rust promoter, which only has an effect against metallic-based enemies, which, well, it's an effect, but it doesn't do nearly as much damage as freeze does. And Raikou just found Orange Kid's home. Not a room we typically see in an ancient cave, nor is it a room we care to see because it has no effect. And we're back in the sewers. A different part of the sewers, mind you, but hey, this part of the sewers actually is one you want to find because it's the end of the floor. We have not seen any hits for bosses yet. So what is it? It's a normal enemy, and this time it's an unassuming local guy tasked with guarding this shining spot. Easy fight, easy win, and Thomas is going to have no problem with the Rowdy Mouse at the end of floor 1. And we have found the mole cave to start floor 3. I'm not sure if Raiko's gonna try for dealing with any of the moles for experience, or will he just move on? While Thomas has found a ruler skip on floor 2, let's see where this goes. It's gonna be deeper into the cave for sure. Once we see an enemy, I'll be able to venture a guess. This could go from anywhere from floor 4 to floor 8 from 2. So, yeah. So at this point, for Paula to be revived on Thomas's end, he would have to find a full heal that restores party members, such as a sanctuary. Either one of the hot springs would suffice in this instance as well, in terms of revival. And Raiko ran into some trouble with the mole, did go for it, however, lost Pooh in the process, so the level up is going just to Ness and Jeff. 3 enemies make me think that was a minimal skip, however, as Raiko picks up a Sandlot bat, which is actually significant because that's a better piece of offense for Raiko. Meanwhile, Thomas getting into a bit of a bind here, running low on psychic points. And Raiko has found the monkey cave. Not the monkey cave. Dungeon Man. I had monkeys on the brain. And Dungeon Man is the back end of a one-way skip that does not follow the rules of a traditional skip. You can enter it, but that entrance is one way. Now, with not 1 but 2 dead party members, 1 on each side, another way that they could be revived would be to find a hospital at this point. Backstage pass on Raiko's side in the hype room, plus a Crystal Charm and Minor League bat. For a floor 3 hype room, that's pretty good. Typically, you want to see that room on like floor 8 or 9, because that's when the good stuff can really appear there. The pendants, the multi-bottle rockets, etc. That's where that stuff shows up. Also worth noting out of that haul, the Crystal Charm increases the speed of the wearer by 15, which in turn boosts bottle rocket damage. It's not as good as the Rabbit's Foot, but it's still pretty good in its own right. Raiko does find a T-Rex bat, one of the better bats to get for the front half of the game, as it's got quite the offensive outburst that really puts more pop in Ness's bash attack at this point in the game. And Thomas picks up a lucky sandwich. Now, this is a particularly interesting item, where it's an RNG-based item, but what it does is determined when the item gets rolled into your inventory. Now, the best effect it can have is a 2% chance of a full HP and PP recovery, which, if you grab one of those in a run, hold on to it for sure, especially if it's that one. Oh, and Thomas running into trouble here as... that's going to be a party wipe on Thomas's end, and he's just going to reset. Hopefully he found a phone. He did, as RaikouRider finds a good night bench. Which counts as a full heal, but it doesn't revive a passed out party member. You still gotta find a hospital, a sanctuary, or a hot spring to get rid of that. And unfortunately, the door that Raikou passed through is a dead end that serves no purpose. Well, this current room that Thomas is... Oh my! That's a flame pendant. That is an item you would find... You might be on floor 6 or 5 if a flame pendant's showing up. Great body defenses and provides complete resistance to PSI fire to where those moves are doing like barely even 10% of what they would do otherwise as Raikou finds the underworld. Here's another area that, in terms of finding, a bit of a mixed bag, as there is a full heal here that can revive a party member, but the movement here is slow. And the gift boxes here are spaced out pretty far as well. I mean, if this were a seed where if the gift box contents weren't shuffled, this would be an area to find for sure, as this is where the sea pendant is in the vanilla game. And speaking of pendants, there's a rain pendant for Thomas. Same effect as a flame pendant, but for freeze. And Raikou is waiting by the hot spring that'll bring back Pooh. Just have to wait for the earthquake, and voila! Even a Pooh sprite popping up out of the ground. Okay, that was funny. I like that. Now, the other hot springs that are in the Lost Underworld will give you a full HP and psychic point recovery. And mobile sprouts do have one annoying feature. They can sow seeds that can sprout additional mobile sprouts that can cause problems. So it's a problematic encounter, but Raikou is through it. I think at this point Raikou wants nothing further to do with the Lost Underworld area. I don't blame him because movement here is so painfully slow as Thomas finds Foresight. There is a hitman in the Foresight overworld that'll tell us what floor we're on. And it is floor 5, and we got Kraken, Electrospectre, and Carbon Dog. The last two bosses are vanilla, and I'll just take Thomas's movements as a reaction of disgust. And Raikou's gonna turn the King Banana in. See where this goes. From 3... Oh, he's found a boss. He's found the boss of 5. And it is Clumsy Robot. Now, for this particular boss, you want to bring down its psychic shield that it most likely starts with. as it has that in the vanilla game. And the fastest way to do that is to use Thunder, because Thunder destroys Psychic Shields. And that missile hit. Oh my. This boss is not playing around. Personally, I would have taken a save in the Lost Underworld. Even though the movement's slow, you can take a full heal there so quickly, so easily, that it would be worth it in this scenario. And Raikou is just going auto fight here. I like this strategy here because... Oh, nice crit. And Thomas is going against a couple of happiest. I think that skip was a backward one. I think Raikou wants his HP to roll up a bit more. Which makes sense because Clumsy Robot is just going absolutely ham with that missile. That was a good effort by Raikou, but it comes up short. Will he find another way? We'll see. Also, chat, one thing that we've done with the Ancient Cave flag set this year is turned on some random/custom music. So if you know what that music is, feel free to venture a guess in chat. While Thomas is going for the full heal by taking out Frank. And just like that, the Frank fight is done. Looks like a fly ambushed Thomas. Yeah, in my view, it looks like Onette's just playing. To that, I say stop playing. So, based off... Oh, Thomas finds another skip. Now, could this skip get him to 9, potentially? I got him to Tucson with mushrooms, and Thomas is like, nope, I am not looking through 19 different doors. At this point, Raikou was letting his HP and psychic points roll up, and looking at this, I know there's a level disparity on his side, but I'm starting to question if who didn't roll the best of stats for this seed. But we'll see. And the ghost caught up to Thomas, and this could be trouble because these ghosts can not only solidify you with its icy hand, you can also get possessed by a mini ghost. A very problematic thing to be possessed by because they will deal damage over time, and they'll also solidify via the icy hand. Although, on later floors, the mini ghost can go bye-bye if it gets hit by a PSI move. Now, for a question in chat, does the water amulet / rain pendant protect from this effect? I would believe so, but I would have to test it for myself as Thomas finds the full heal and a rabbit's foot with a jar of fly honey and a gold bracelet. Let's unpack this. The jar of fly honey is a skip that allows our runners to battle Master Belch. Because otherwise, the only way to defeat Master Belch would be to get lucky with a PSI Flash Beta roll. Which, in my view, is 100% not worth it. Thomas going through selling some excess stuff. Never a bad idea. Oh yeah, and those ghosts can also call for assistance, which can make them even more annoying to deal with. And it looks like our back alley vendor is selling a big league bat. Good choice. And that helicopter is, wow, that's literally a warp from the bottom to the top of the Monotoli building. And there is an effect that beating Master Belch does have on the overworld, is that you're able to go up to the hot springs from that mid-level of Saturn Valley, which I would believe to be a skip created indirectly. Now that RaikouRider's done some exploring, is returning to take on the same boss that Thomas is about to take on, that boss being Clumsy Robot. And Thomas going for paralysis strats here. Doesn't work, but I like the effort. Big Bottle Rocket does not hit Clumsy Robot this time. And Raikou's got that Psychic Shield right off. Oh, and there goes a missile hitting right dead center in the party. And that's a reset. Really rough boss this time around because paralysis only has a 10% chance of working. Honestly, I wonder if this is just me thinking out loud here, but I wonder if casting a shield just to counter off the damage from that missile wouldn't be a bad idea here. Unless it's a move that's PSI based, then there'd be no dice to be had. Still, this Clumsy Robot is proving to be absolutely troublesome more than anything. Clumsy Robot ain't the only one that's out for blood today. I think this whole seed is out for blood, especially with that boss list for the back half floors as Thomas is through. The remaining bosses will not be easy. Floor 6, Kraken. Floor 7, Electrospectre. And bad news for our runners is that this is a doggo seed, as the boss of Floor 8 is the one and only Carbon Dog. Yeah, with how the bosses have laid out for this seed, honestly, skipping to 9 and finding that skip would be the better play, in my opinion. I think the bot Larden is out for blood, because that's the bot that rolls the seeds for this community. Normally, I would blame Sahasra bot, but that bot has no bearing on Earthbound Ancient Cave. Just saying. And Thomas has found a hamburger skip. Only has one, but this could be a scenario where one is all he needs. Double burger counts as a hamburger substitute, while Mammoth Burger does not. Thomas might want to find another hamburger to come back here to see if that other skip does anything different. As Raikou finds a skip of his own, he's thinking about it, and he goes back. Gonna need $7,500 to trigger that skip. However, that one goes backwards, as we've already seen Central Onet. And Thomas has found the Forsyth department store. This could have some good stuff, depending on what's at the shops. He does have find a hamburger here. That counts, because now he'll be able to go to the other skip. See what that is once he's done checking out the other shops here. Now, enemies on stairways have interesting properties. If they're towards the middle of a stair or an escalator, you're not going to fight them. But if you have one party member at the end, yes, you are, even if they're on that particular stair. Thomas picking up some big bottle rockets, which makes sense for a number of the encounters that you could potentially run into. Refram, I have seen what Plandemizers do in other communities, and I swear, Sahasrabot has not been the same since the A Link to the Past Plandomizer tournament from a couple of years ago. I'm just saying. Well, that's promising for Thomas. Skips to 3, take a left turn, immediately grab a C pendant. That is extremely promising, as those either show up on 8 or 9. And a legendary bat. Wow, that is excellent DPS for Ness. Because of the 3 bats that are the top tier offense for Ness, legendary bat has the highest consistent offense, which takes into account the smash attacks that the Gutsy Bat provides, and the high probability of missing that you get with the Casey Bat. And Thomas gets an instant win and a bread roll. Thought that was a gift box, but got jebaited. It was actually an enemy. Okay, there's something amusing about that. Wow. Gutsy Bat and Legendary Bat on the same screen. Wow. I don't know which I'd take in that scenario, but between those 2 bats, Ness is set in terms of offense, but what makes this unsettling is we've got 2 Mooks seniors, or lesser Mooks, either or. These guys attack with PSI moves, which can do a lot of damage if you do not have Pendant Protection. And here's another enemy that you'd probably rather not run into in this scenario. Pitbull Attack Slugs. These things hit hard, because if you think they're weak like the garden variety attack slugs that are in Giant Step, you'd be mistaken. These things hit like a truck. And Thomas gets wrecked. But he's coming right back. Now, we haven't seen as much of whatever floor Thomas was on, which, if I had to venture a guess, it's either floor 8 or floor 9. But based off where the enemies were spawning on the route he was going on, I think he wound up close to Carbon Dog on floor 8. I hope I'm wrong. Interesting PSI move situation on Thomas's end for Ness, as Ness got Life Up Gamma before healing Beta. Not something you typically see, but Ancient Cave does make that possible. Raikou taking a hotel heal. And the arms dealer in 3, lacking on the good stuff. And this... Oh, it was a rather minimalist skip to floor 7, so that double hamburger room was a double skip, which can take your typical skip rules and throw them right out the door. But it is possible for sea pendants to be on floor 7, yes, as is other good items you want for the endgame, such as a heavy bazooka. But I think at this point, Thomas is looking for some sort of revival point. Viper, not what he's after. It's not like we're gonna try and wear an enemy down with poison strats, which is possible, but it's very time-consuming. And Thomas barely gets that life up off in time. Like, another second, and that's a party wipe. Meanwhile, Raikou takes on what has become his nemesis, this seed in Clumsy Robot. Pops off a prayer strat to keep everybody alive. Very smart move. Unfortunately, that missile has taken everybody out in Raikou's party, except for Ness. This is gonna be rough. Speaking of rough, Thomas in a rough encounter that's not letting him run, and he's wiped. And Raikou's through, on to floor 6. And Thomas has found an Earth Pendant, which in terms of pendants, is number 3 behind the Sea and Star pendants, because it does offer PSI protection, but only half. And ooh, this could be a big moment for Thomas, as that is the wet towel skip. He cashes it in. Where does it go? But no pizza for Monocona. Thomas is charging to see what floor this is. A bionic slingshot. Not something you want to see. Well, he's found the other end of King Banana Skip. Turns in the hamburger, which Raikou did not have. Hey, Pokey's dad, get out the way. And Thomas, continuing to explore, maybe try and find something to revive the party, finds an Earth Pendant, and Raikou is gonna be looking through his inventory, doesn't have any hamburgers. But once he finds a Hope Foresight department store, that won't be a problem. Which he just did. And he faded the mole fight because Guardian Mole versus Ness does not end well. And it seems like Thomas is heading backwards through the skips as they didn't work out. Uh-oh. Got caught from behind. And Zapper being nice. That's either a conducting menace or a conducting spirit. Neither of those enemies are fun. Thomas picking up a gold bracelet, which is nice equipment and all, but if you're not gonna uh-oh. Raikou, on the other hand, finds a secret herb vendor. The first one didn't work, the second one did. Which is an interesting property of the secret herb, is that it has a 25% chance to not work in reviving a party member. Be what it be. I think Raikou's gonna do some shopping here. Thomas picks up a mummy wrap. That is an item worth keeping because when using it, the enemy is guaranteed to be solidified. Coin of Silence, also good equipment to pick up. But what's not good is this enemy combination for two different reasons. Robo Pump, 3 turns after a battle starts, it throws a bomb. Enraged Fire Plug attacks by spraying your party with water, an attack that has the same effect as PSI Freeze, and Thomas has found a store that sells jars of deli sauce, which, in this game, is the super condiment. It works with any food item to enhance its effect. There's picnic lunch skip for Thomas. Let's see where this goes as Raikou finds the desert and he's gonna do some exploration. Thomas giving him both skip items. One goes to Onette. That was Skip Sandwich, went into Skip Sandwich picnic lunch, and that's a chicken. Well, that skip brought Thomas back to floor 6, another double skip, and Thomas has gone Freebird. And Raikou is about to see that he has gone back to floor 1, while Thomas now knows that that skip he couldn't take earlier went to 6. I think that yo-yo he picked up is gonna cue him in. This could be a tough battle for Thomas in his current state because that is a gigantic ant, which is Ness, but Gutsy Bat makes short work of it, relatively speaking. And this is going to be a difficult fight for Thomas because Ness has been blinded with the uncontrollable crying stat, which that makes it so that your attacks hit a lot less often. Thomas almost able to sneak by, but no dice. And that guitar has been smashed like it was a Kiss concert. Raiko turns in the picnic lunch. That'll get him to floor 7. He's not too far off from a vault of goodies that Thomas already picked up, and he starts with a C pendant. Uh-oh. This combination could get very ugly for Thomas very fast. Carefree Bomb throws bombs and super bombs every turn and is completely relentless in its assault. So for those tuning in, we are both on floor 7. And Raiko knows that that's the back end of the hamburger skip because he saw it from floor 6. Yeah, it's a dog seed with Electrospectre as the boss of this floor. Clumsy Robot was problematic for both runners as that was the boss of floor 5. They both skipped past floor 6, which it was Kraken. Which, personally, I'm sure both runners are okay with skipping that one. So, as we're seeing on Raiko's side as he takes on 2 Carefree Bombs here. Very annoying enemy, where the enemies do splash damage to your party, and Raiko got wiped. And Thomas gets wiped out by a Zappy. This floor 7 and this seed are both taking absolutely no prisoners. These are 2 veteran runners of this rando. And that's just this seed plus Earthbound. And it's giving them both the business. And this is new. Thomas has found the floor 7 full heal. Actually, both runners have a good weapon because they've both picked up the same bats for Ness. So in terms of overall offense, they're both going to be in a good spot. Raiko has to take a rather lengthy, circuitous route to get back to where he was, as he did not find a phone. Thomas just found one. And that's the end of floor 7. Electrospectre awaits. Except Thomas doesn't have a pencil eraser, so yeah, Electrospectre awaits. Yeah, in terms of skill level with both these runners, they both know the other's really skilled. They could both be feeling very far behind, as Thomas is going straight for big bottle rocket strats. I like this strategy. And ooh, Pooh goes down. And interesting to note that amongst the items that Electrospectre uses is a neutralizer, which removes all PSI effects from the battlefield, stat changes, shields, what have you. By using it, it removed its own psychic shield, as Thomas is through to floor 8. Now Thomas is just going to head back a couple of doors for that full heal, or just stop right here, pay the hospital fee, get Pooh back on his feet, and move on to floor 8. Well, the Tenda Village does count as a full heal, albeit a slower one, because in order to revive a party member, gotta spend time in the hot spring. Then for HP Psychic Point recovery, talk to the hotel guy. Ooh, and Thomas now finding the good stuff for Jeff as the baddest beam has shown up, which is in terms of pure offense, that is Jeff's number 3 weapon. And since it's floor 8, I wonder if either runner's gonna go down Cave of the Past. Well, the Magic Pudding Shop in Magic Can't. I'm getting a sense of deja vu. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm getting a sense of deja vu either by way of vanilla or French vanilla. And Thomas is heading in to the is heading towards what would be this the Sea of Eden. Took me a moment to remember that. It's been a while since I've played vanilla. But the red tunnel that leads to the Sea of Eden has 4 gift boxes. Could potentially have some good stuff here because it is a late floor. And Flash Beta takes Pooh out on Thomas's side. Does get a back attack here. This is as the enemies get tougher, the better option is often to just run from these. And Raiko's seen the bad news about the bosses. Picks up an Earth Pendant. And Thomas comes up with a Platinum Band in Saturn Valley. And that's the end of Master Belch. I mean, if you want experience, you just give him the jar of fly honey and then beat him while he's not able to do anything because he lost his mind because he wolfed down fly honey. And Thomas has already found the end of floor 8. This floor 8 was quicker than a hiccup. Although I can assure you this Carbon Dog, Diamond Dog fight is going to be anything but. Oh, that is a mook. And they're going to attack with PSI moves. And thankfully the pendants are mitigating the damage. Which at this point is going to be Thomas's best defense because not only do the enemies here use a lot of PSI moves, Carbon Dog uses a lot of fire-based moves, and on top of that, Diamond Dog can also use a Glorious Light, which could be fatal. Ooh, wow. Excellent drop there from the mooks as a brain food lunch restores HP and psychic points to whomever eats it, but if Pooh eats it, that's a full heal. Full HP, full psychic points. I think Thomas is looking around for anything that might help. Ooh, the accidental coin drop. And Thomas is going to mark this spot, and I think he's just going to take the dive here and come back with a full party. Because I believe his last save was Dr. Andonit's lab, which has a full heal right there. Or it was at the start of floor 8. It's one of those two, but they're relatively close. Oh, what's this? Thomas is trying to fight his way through. This is... Well, he ripped through Carbon Dog. And then just ran out of power at Diamond Dog. So, yeah, this will be a good place to do a full heal. But Thomas doesn't heal there. That's interesting. Yeah, in terms of C, it's... Oh, wait. Did that revive everybody? Oh, it did. Ah, so talking to Ness's mom was faster in Magic Ant. Oh, yes, this seed, all I'm going to say about it is, oh, rough. Just the way your mother likes it, Trebek. Yeah, definitely worth saving the exit mouse just in case, so you can go for this fight. If it doesn't go well, reset, try again, because I think Thomas has enough firepower to get through this just with Ness's bat alone. I could be wrong, but we're about to find out. Raikou's still looking around floor 7. He's only a few doors away, but trying to find the correct path in Threed is challenging. Now, Diamond Dog hits like a truck, so... Yeah, you're going to want to be ready on the heels. And there's that glorious light effect I was talking about, which if you're not protected from flash, can take you out super easily. And that smash attack just ripped right through Diamond Dog's power shield. Good spot for a bag of Dragonite usage. And Raikou finds the Gutsy Bat. Uh-oh. Everybody's been affected with Brain Shock. This is where it gets interesting because now there's a non-zero chance that of not only getting power shielded without you using it, Diamond Dog could diamondize himself. Which is kind of comical. I've seen it happen. And now everybody's been put to sleep. Now, this is what you get with prayer strats, unfortunately, is sometimes the effects can screw you up as much as they screw the enemy up. Oh, no, and Diamond dies, and out is Jeff on Thomas's side. And it looks Oh no, Ness got diamondized too. And that is how quick a diamond dog fight can end, folks. Yeah, I also feel it was a bit soon for praise strats, but I don't know. The only pendant that I'm aware of that would protect from the diamondizing bite is the star pendant, as I did not know until recently that paralysis resistance also protects against being diamondized, as Raikou is taking on a couple of thunder mites that are not playing nice. And not only is it freeze resistant, Pooh is already down, so that is one less source of healing. And that's a sleep attack, as Raikou is now in the sewers. Unfortunately, the Hawkeye does nothing in Ancient Cave, as in Ancient Cave Rando, we do not go to Deep Darkness. At all. And it looks like Thomas is going for paralysis strats. Don't see that very often. Now, had that worked, Diamond Dog's offense would have been pretty much nerfed to the point of where the only thing it could do would be casting a power shield. So with how this is going, I have to put this out there. Because I've been in this situation before, at what point do you consider going back to look for skips? Even though Thomas basically full cleared 7, did not find a skip to 9. We've seen a large part of 6, no skip to 9. 5 we saw a bit of, no skip to 9. Oh, invulnerable! And well, we have a 21% chance to mirror, but no Paula, so no mirror. And Raikou's back on a previous floor, I think. He might be trying to find a way forward this way. Although personally, I like the idea of using a power shield in this situation to put damage back on the enemy that's trying to beat you up. That's just me. Now, Thomas could be going for diamondized strats here. Unfortunately, 2 party members diamondized, so Ness is... Well, that gets rid of any further attempts to diamondize, so now it's going to be Thomas trying to swing through, and he swings through! Thomas has taken down the bad dogs and is off to floor 9. Yeah, I'm willing to agree, IQ. Sometimes you just gotta go ham. Although I think the reason why Thomas wasn't able to break through, let's just say Earthbound on its own can be a bit of a rubber band in terms of what it does. Randomizer amplifies that, but it's fun all the same. You know, I just realized something. When you beat Belch, even in Ancient Cave, a ladder spawns there that goes up to the hot springs, so I don't remember specifically where the midsection of Saturn Valley was, but if he had cleared Belch and gone back to that would have been a way to floor 9. I'm just throwing that out there because that is a detail that some folks don't know about. At least I think that's how that works. Thomas has found the full heal on 9. Doesn't have an exit mouse, but certainly has the tools and the talent to take Gygus down. But could still be looking for that one more thing to push through, and that one more thing in this case would definitely be like a heavy bazooka, for sure. Finds a magic pudding that's nice for psychic point recovery for anyone in the party. I think Raikou's gotten lost trying to find the end of floor 7. That could happen to anybody, really, because it's very easy to get lost in this game. Oh, and the dog is cosplaying as an ATM. That's a new one. Demonic petunias are rather an annoying lot, as Thomas finds the eraser skip that would have gone to 9, but we never found that item, so who knows where that wound up. And Thomas has found Dalam as well as mock pizza, maybe thinking of ordering one, which would not be a bad idea in this scenario. Yeah, pizza strats, what they entail is using a large pizza turn 1 so that it doesn't really matter if Gygus throws an alpha or a beta, as it ensures that you at least survive with some HP. Now, Pooh will have it rough, gaining only 6 HP from this item, but it's better than nothing. Thomas finds a master criminal worm. Of all the enemies in the game, this is the one you want to back attack more than anything, as it gives an absurd amount of experience points. Although if you ever get into a fight with one, be advised that it attacks by using PK Fire, Alpha, Beta, and Gamma. Yeah, I'm looking at that enemy name and I'm thinking Zapper playing nice, my foot. And Thomas immediately turning around at the sight of a diamond enemy because, quite frankly, of all the enemies in the game, that's the one you do not want to see on floor 9, as that is a bazooka for sale. Well, in case the end game enemies wind up being super bulky, that's not terrible, because a bazooka fires off a regular bomb every single turn. Oh, and how about that? We have arrived at Gygus. And now we get the player name, which, for Thomas, that meme is related to the show Golden Girls, as the theme song to that show is "Thank You for Being a Friend." It's also a show that my mom loved to watch back in the day. Raikou has found... That was Scarab, but Thomas found this is Dalam, and by using the carrot key, Raikou's just gonna find it. You get rid of the statues, and all of a sudden, Raikou's back on floor 3. I know that feeling. Oh my goodness, all those diamonds! Retreat, retreat! You do not want to deal with that, as Cave of the Past enemies are absolutely merciless. And Thomas gets to the fight trigger without triggering another fight, so here we go, folks. I don't believe Thomas found a phone on floor 9, so a death would be pretty damaging. But I think Thomas is well set for this fight as is. So the real trick to surviving this fight without Paula is, since you can't use psychic shields, what you do is you brain shot Gygus. At least that's what I typically do. Oh, unfortunately, that's going to be the end of trying to brain shock. Yeah, this is a very dicey situation for Gygus. And now Thomas doesn't have any healing whatsoever outside of an item in his inventory for Jeff. And that maxed out his HP, so that's very fortunate. That could have been the 2% roll, but we won't know that because Jeff doesn't use PSI. And Thomas is going to have to go back, try again. Oh yeah, there was a phone at the start of floor 9, so I'm mistaken there. And Thomas's party is back in the fight. Is gonna have to heal. Mine's a Diadem of Kings, which is one of his equip items. I'd say the Monotoli Grand Hotel will be the base of operations for this Gygus fight, but Thomas doesn't take the phone there. I certainly would have, but that's just me. And Raikou's finally on his way to the end of floor 7. Gonna try and bulk up on big bottle rockets, but has a full inventory and can't do that. Thomas has found another hotel deeper on floor 9. This floor 9 seems awfully linear with only a couple of different points to branch out, as Thomas is just gonna ambush the enemy and go for easy experience, going for Rock and Gamma here. And I believe Raikou has finally found the end of floor 7. And that's Conducting Spirit, and it is dropping the thunder on Thomas's party as RaikouRider takes on Electro Spectre. Looks like Raikou's letting the HP roll up. It's worth noting that when you are down to 2 party members, Thunder has a 50-50 chance of completely missing. And it looks like Thomas is grinding for experience for a bit. And RaikouRider has cleared out Electrospectre, and he'll be on to floor 8. That was a massive amount of experience points for that fight. And Thomas is running back for round 2 against Gygus. Oh, but he gets caught from behind. And that is a Squatter Demon, one of the more dangerous enemies in Cave of the Past for a number of reasons. The most prominent one is that it has a bite that can diamond eyes. Here comes Thomas going for round 2 against Gygus. All those Cave of the Past enemies swarming. And all with one thing in mind: stop Thomas from reaching Gygus. Well, I guess the rumors were true about dinosaurs in the desert. Although this Thomas will just walk up on and get an easy 45,000 experience. Will that level up make a difference? We're about to find out, as here comes round 2. Meanwhile, Raikou has found the end of Floor 8 very quickly. And the French kiss of death was told to kiss off very quickly by Raikou, I might add. So right now, it doesn't look like psychic points are that much of an issue for our runners. It's health that's the major issue. I'm honestly surprised that Thomas has not gone for Brain Shock yet. And that's a beta. That is the one reason why you would Brain Shock Gygus, is because that puts a chance of literally just turning the offense back on Gygus and Porky. In that case, you would have only one party member taking damage from Rockin'. As Raikou is already on phase 2 against Carbon Dog, Diamond Dog phase. And yeah, that Psychic Power Shield hurts. Just saying. Oh, but Ness gets... Oh, wow. And everybody got confused other than the fatal blow that Raikou just took on Ness. Although for Raikou, the best option that could pop up would be, at this point, would be Rainbow Light. Wow, right as I said it, too. Commentator's blessing, let's go. Raikou taking a moment. Actually, both runners took a moment to let their HP roll back upward. And unfortunately for Raikou, Ness just got paralyzed, so Ness is limited with what he can do. Oh! Ness takes a big smash attack on Thomas's end. Secret Herb fails, and that's the end of that Gygus attempt. Which, for Raikou, what this is doing is it's giving him time to get caught back up. If he's able to break through Diamond Dog, we might have ourselves a race. Raikou looking over his options here. Gonna pull out a Power Shield on Pooh. I can't say I disagree with this strategy, knowing the circumstance of this fight. Nope, he's gonna go for Rockin' Beta after all. Oh, this is an ugly looking screen for Thomas. Has to take a diamond encounter. It's another Squatter Demon now. This is an enemy that you could paralyze and run from, or put asleep and run. I can't remember specifically. And Raikou's through on one attempt over Diamond Dog. He's on his way to floor 9. Meanwhile, Thomas approaching Gygus for the 3rd time. And if you're running this seed, you're probably wondering at this point, if you're a runner, where's the dot done? Where's the dot done? Frankly, this is just one of those really stinky bad seeds that rolls from time to time. Honestly, this phase 1, I think the winner of this race is going to be whoever brain shocks Gygus first. Instead of Gygus, opts to brain shock Pokey. Interesting. I personally haven't thought of doing that myself. I guess the idea here is to maybe get Porky's farts over on the other side of the map. Raikou hits the full heal. And Pooh goes down on Thomas's side. Now, I didn't see where, but Thomas did pick up the Gaia Beam, which is the absolute best beam that Jeff can equip. Moonbeam Gum would be second best. Gaia Beam, you have to find Broken Antenna from an uncontrollable sphere in vanilla to get. That is a 1 in 128 drop. And Thomas is down to just Ness. Successfully gets Pooh revived here. Might just... This is going to be close on the revive. Nope, not going to get it. That brain food lunch is going to get wasted. And then he's going to reset out. I don't blame him. Thomas giving it another go. Raikou has found the what could have been the one skip to 9, but we'll never know. Raikou taking a look around not Delom, Scaraba. Sees mock pieces like, no thanks. Not the Stoic Club? Yeah, we're gonna be on our way, because we don't have time for that. Thomas immediately eats a beta. And Raikou doesn't know it, but he's one door away. Don't look now, but Raikou's in the Gygus room. At one point, he was 2 floors behind, but floor 9 and Gygus wound up being the great equalizer of this race, as we are just about even Steven. For RaikouRider, he's looking over his inventory. As at this point, here's Gygus. As soon as he's done with his menuing, that is. Thomas is going for power shield strats to bounce damage back to Pokey. It's a strategy that could work. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see how Raikou plays this Gygus. Going for paralysis on turn 1, which unfortunately does not have a great chance of working out, because it's like he's going right for brain shock, which is a very smart strategy. Unfortunately, eats a beta right off the bat. This is going to make things really hard. Oh, that is just evil. Dazzling Light Chase, but it bounces off Gygus. And that's the end of that attempt. I doubt it'll be long before Raikou comes back to it. And Thomas has broken through phase 1. Does have to revive Jeff, however, as Jeff has prey. And he gets a spankety for his troubles. This is Thunder. And Ness got paralyzed. Raikou sealed up. He's saving one more time, and I expect him to come right back. Yep, here he comes. I'd say he's got a couple of minutes of a deficit here. But it's not over yet, folks. Not until we see the dot done in the race room. Anything could happen. Oh, and Raikou got caught! And that is not a good combination to get caught by, as Final Starman is absolutely nasty. Both Star Storms, Brain Shock Omega, Heal Omega, and a very powerful beam attack make this one enemy you want no part of, and Raikou is just saying no and resetting. I don't blame him one bit. Meanwhile, Thomas is going for Brain Shock strats, and he just drops a big Rockin' Gamma on Gaius. Not something you typically see in an Ancient Cave setting, because typically you only have Beta at this point in most seeds. But hey, this seed was rough, and without a party member, you do get extra experience. Raikou gets there cleanly. So here comes Raikou's round 2. Will he be able to break through? Meanwhile, Thomas has broken through the second phase. So now it's down to Prey RNG. Just gotta do one more Rockin' Gamma, just because, and whatever else was queued up. This time Raikou gets better RNG with an alpha start. Yeah, Gaius has been an absolute troll. We call Floor 9 the Great Equalizer, and it has truly equalized this race. Best way I can describe it would be a rubber band, Earthbound style. Now, Raikou in a bit of a pickle here, low on HP on both ends. So this is still doable for Raikou, but Ness is gonna have to... Well, he doesn't like it, just resets it. Thomas doing some HP restoration, and I did not realize Gaius could be monochrome, but that's randomizer for you. I swear that's how this fight would look on a classic Game Boy in terms of background. Would all the boxes be the same for each character? Nah. On this seed, we already went to overtime about 20 minutes ago. Not the most overtime I've ever done in a seed anywhere, mind you. That would be the Z1R Pentaforce tournament from a few years back. Which, long story short, that was a near 4-hour tour. I kid you not. Seed was that mean. And Raikou would know something about that, because he's played Z1R. Meanwhile, not to digress, but Thomas is 2 prayers away from finally putting this seed to bed. Oh, and Raikou having to reset again because Gaius isn't cooperating. And Thomas is ready on time on his end. And that'll do it. Get your GGs in chat for Thomas, who has survived a rather difficult round 2 seed with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 45 minutes, 24 seconds, and RaikouRider has thrown in the towel for this one. GG's to both runners, and guess what? Guess what? Raiko and I get to do it one more time. Just like the first tournament. Him and I, losers won. This is going to be a treat you're going to want to watch. On the other side of it, Thomas gets to take on Aurelix. It's going to be great matchups all around between Thomas and Aurelix and RaikouRider myself. And give me 1 second. We're now joined by RaikouRider. GG. That seed was disgusting. And I think I had seen enough disgusting in Z1R last week. This seed just said, hold my beer.
I legitimately did not know what the answer for Googie was. I tried a few times, and then what I was going to do is I was going to go back and level up until I got Healing Gamma on Ness.
Which I don't think you were too far off on. We got Thomas in here as well. GG, Thomas. Wow.
GG's, dude. Brutal.
That might be the most difficult seed I've ever played.
Yesterday I did... Go ahead.
From about 110 on, I said I was going to forfeit as soon as you finished. Because the only way... I don't think there was a single skip past... I don't think there was a single skip past Diamond Dog.
I don't think so.
Did you find... I did not find Heavy Bazooka. I was pretty thorough.
So was I. I didn't find a bazooka. I bought a bazooka at the end, but didn't help me much.
I bought a bazooka at the end as well. I found an arms vendor with bigs that got me through Carbon Dog and Diamond Dog. That Diamond Dog that was freeze resistant was brutal.
It's not great.
Yeah, and you got through that Diamond Dog. I think that was first try for you, Raiko.
It was. I had to like super improv because Jeff was diamondized, Ness was paralyzed, so I had to throw Rockins and Thunders at Diamond Dog until I got there, and that was very fortunate I got through first try. It was just...
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, how do you get through Googie?
I let Jeff die. Just let Jeff die and keep Pooh and Ness up the entire time. Ness had Healing Gamma, so I was up that. So I was high enough for that. It was really just keep those guys up. I knew my defense was super duper low, so I did use a shield, the reflector shield on that. So it was bouncing back some attacks from Pokey, which was good. But just keep the guys alive as much as possible. I had a couple secret herbs, but I knew that Ness had enough PP to really bring him back and do all that stuff. So
I had to use all my secret herbs earlier, which was frustrating.
I think a vendor in Scaraba was selling some.
I was
North one, but
I must have missed that.
Yeah, he's the one that's got the jumble up with him there, up in that area. It's kind of hard to find him.
Yeah, I must have missed that one because I thought I checked them all and it didn't see anything that would be helpful.
Yeah, we normally just check the bottom two because one sells and one you can sell to, the other you can. Yeah, you can
just
buy
the kids' stats overall were just miserable.
Yeah, they weren't that great. I did a practice yesterday, which is very uncharacteristic, but I did a practice and it was my best time ever. So I was like, oh, okay, this will be no problem.
Never say that when it comes to Earthbound.
Nope.
Oh, that's just rando in general, but Ancient Cave is particularly volatile in terms of finishing times. I want to say this is the longest finish time we've had all tournament.
Maybe.
But like,
as long as it was, I have to say, at one point there was a 2-floor gap between you two.
Wow.
But the troubles that Thomas was having with Gygus allowed Raiko to catch back up to the Gygus fight. At that point, I didn't know what was going to happen.
I mean, it was just a matter of getting through Googie 1, because once you got or like Devil's Machine rather, because once you got past Devil's Machine, it was pretty free. It was just getting enough damage and keeping the kids up because it was pretty convenient because I still had my exit mouse and I could just do a pretty quick reset from Ness's house because there was a heal and a save.
Yep.
So I brought everybody back up, saved, and then just used my exit mouse to get back. I tried it a few times, and then when you finished, I was going to go back and grind until I got Healing Gamma. What level was that at?
I have no clue.
Because I was at 50.
I wasn't even paying attention. I was just like, what? I've got it. Okay.
I was at 51, and I didn't have it.
Yeah, I finished Carbon with just Ness, so that probably pushed me right over.
That was probably it. I think I had Ness and Pooh alive because Jeff was diamondized.
Gotcha.
That was my biggest concern, is that Jeff missed out on so much experience that his HP was so low. And, oh yeah, Jeff is the worst prey character.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
So, good luck in top 4, because if you finish the seed at all, you're a trooper.
This was a rough one, so...
So the only thing I saw that even led to 9 was Eraser skip. But you never found that, and who knows where that was?
Probably not even the seed.
Were there any Auto Star Masters? Because I didn't see either one of them.
Didn't see any.
Not that I saw here. And I don't have anything that'll give me that information, so...
Wow.
Airfram here. I've requested a spoiler for this particular seed, so I'll share that with you folks, just so you can see what the hell happened here.
Yeah, I think we all need to know that, because holy smokes, this seed... Well, Raiko, we've seen some nightmarish scenarios with Z1R. This one ranks up there with some of those.
I could have sworn Panzer Dave came in here just to deal this one. So those of you not familiar, Panzer Dave from the Z1R community has been banned from dealing tournament seeds because of how terrible they are.
Yeah, and I raised him week 1, and that seed was just bad, but it was not him that rolled it, so...
I'm just going to say, both of you have earned tournament organizers' favor by being dealt this seed.
Well, at least it was entertaining to watch. It had to be a pretty entertaining watch, at least.
Oh, it was, for sure.
So, Thomas, how much money did you launder with nonstick frying pans?
What? You were finding them?
Did you not find the free shop?
Nope.
I found the free shop pretty quickly, and I filled Pooh's inventory with deluxe water, and I laundered about 4 to 5K with nonstick frying pans. I found a shop that had a shiny coin. I bought one and then immediately regretted it because shortly after I found the Onet Shack skip.
Yep.
And I could not raise the money for it.
Well, I'm going to report you to the IRS and the CIA, so...
Harsh.
Alright, so... I'm just really curious to see where the stuff is. I've played a lot of different settings on this before, and this is just the nastiest seed I've had. I think ever.
I'll have to DM you folks afterwards, and I'll post some results in the EBSS channel so everyone in the chat can see it later, because I messaged Chaz and I'm pretty sure Chaz is busy doing weekend things.
Well, have a good one. Thanks for having me. I'm gonna have to watch this back tonight.
Yeah, for sure, but before you do that, Raiko, guess what? We're flashing it back to the first tournament. Bonus bracket 1 all over again.
Is it the two of us again?
Yes, it is.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Darn.
And I'll say this now, as most people are in it, get ready for the instant HP flag.
Cool.
Oh, lovely.
But I gave you Paula back.
Fast.
Alright, well, I have some stuff I need to do before RPG night tonight, so I should take off.
Yep, thanks guys. Thanks Leslie for commentating. Thanks Airfram as always, and GG's Raiko.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Take care guys.
Both of you.
All right, Leslie, any last words? Just so everyone knows, we're going to end up raiding Pepper Crab. If you are a PK Scrambler, Pepper Crab is doing the weekly seed, so make sure you jump out before we go raid.
I haven't had the chance to do anything weekly related with that yet, but I will say that please follow the runners. They put on a heck of a show for us in one of the ugliest seeds I have ever seen in any rando, bar none. And also feel free to give myself a follow if you feel so inclined, as I also play Earthbound Ancient Cave Rando, as well as some other stuff. Plus, I gotta schedule my match with Raiko sometime soon in the very near future.
Alright,
but that's for another time.
Thanks, Leslie, for the commentary as always. So we'll toss it over now.
All right, until next time, folks, stay kind, stay safe, and take care, y'all. And have a good day.